Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
What happened to that other 10-second lead-in thing?
It's all right. I mean, we just needed to get to it, right? Sometimes that happens, right?
Facebook Live Friday.
Hey.
All Blue preview with Mr. Blue himself. I'm Mr. Blue. Never mind. It's all oldies music. It's another huge weekend for UK athletics. The basketball Wildcats play tonight against Jackson State. You've got the football Cats in a must-win situation against Texas. Volleyball going for its 8th straight.
8 in a row.
8 is not enough in this case.
No.
You get greedy with the gold. And so the Cats have 2 regular season matches left. A split 1-1. They get a share of the title. If the Cats
They don't want to share.
No, you don't want to share anything.
Not no Craig Skinner.
Not him either. If the Cats can win the last 2, they get the title outright. So, but let's get into at high school footballs tonight, the region championship round, and then that means you practice on Thanksgiving morning.
How cool is that?
And it's pretty cool, especially at Franklin County when they get to break out their Christmas sweater
I forgot about that.
Christmas sweater practice.
Are you going over there Thursday?
I'm going to Louisville, and I have for the last 3 years.
I know you have.
Stopped and checked out all the cool.
Well, if you want to stop, I mean, I've got.
Oh, you're in the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, I can get a costume or 2 for us, and we can go over there and participate ourselves.
We'll see what we can do.
All right.
But let's get into basketball real quick. Cats and Jackson State, part of the Unity Series, BBN Invitational. Cats averaging 94 points a game, undefeated. Dave Baker, did you see this coming 6 weeks ago? Wrong.
Jackson State. Winless.
Yes, 0-5.
34.5 point underdogs.
Do they cover? Do the Cats cover?
Boy,
we get to talk about this. Legally,
yes, we do.
Get to talk about this now.
They have not failed to cover so far this season.
Yeah. I won $15. I won $18 on the night in Atlanta. I had Kansas to cover to beat Michigan State by more than 5.5. Had the Cats covering the 7-point spread, 6-point spread, whatever it was, and I had the under that night because I knew defense would come in handy, and it did. And the under was by 11 points. It was 149 to 160, so I won by 11 points. So hey, they go back to Atlanta for another $18.
They have been proficient in terms of scoring the basketball, and of course, Mark Pope doesn't believe in talking about a letdown or anything.
Right.
He says that sometimes you can speak things into existence. I get that.
Osmosis.
Yes, but I mean, he says that they need to continue playing at a high level, and they need to do that tonight, and then that level will pick up when Western comes to town on Tuesday.
And if you do believe that, if you can envision it, if you can do what Stephen Covey said is one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, if we go way back in the day, so can you, it's the power of positive thinking. This UK ball club has, in 4 games, they have everybody believing.
Yes, they do.
If you wear blue and white, and it's nothing flashy. It's not pressing up and down the court.
Not braggadocious.
It's just efficient. And that's great.
None of this stuff, I mean.
Not much of it.
No, I mean, it's something to watch. I mean, you feel like something really special is there, and you're just on the front end of it.
Oh, I know. I mean, this feels like Christmas. The build up to Christmas, when you want those gifts and the start of the new year. And in the past, the majority of the time, Kentucky has been, okay, well, we know who we thought they were going to be. But no one really saw this coming, and I think this is the build-up towards a Christmas day in a way. Like, man, what present are we going to get this time? What are we going to see here? And Western, not to look past Jackson State, but you do have Western Kentucky, who did come in here with Patrick Sparks some 2+ decades ago and stunned Kentucky, and Western is a formidable ball club. But then you have, before the new year, I believe you have Louisville, Gonzaga, and Ohio State. Before the new year.
New York City.
And those will be those huge measuring sticks prior to the SEC.
Gonzaga, probably the toughest one.
Absolutely.
I would think. Playing out there, 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, flying all the way across the country.
Not me.
Right? I mean, Mark Pope and those guys are used to doing that. Yeah. But I mean, they have joy. I mean, they really revel in the moment, but again, they're not braggadocious. They're not out there thumping their own chest. They're the most humble dudes, but I mean, they are doing what you're supposed to do.
They are doing well.
You see teams all the time that some teams hangs around and they're not supposed to.
Sure.
These guys, to this point, have come out and done what they're supposed to do with workmanlike efficiency.
You know, and that Duke game, that first half, at halftime, UK trailed by 9, and it was the only time so far that you saw, hey, what do we have here? It's a new puzzle to figure out. We've got about 10 minutes to figure it out, or what we want to do, and then obviously get into the second half and put it to use. And they outscored Duke by, 14, 15 points in the second half, and just and emotionally, not on the scoreboard, but emotionally ran away with the ball game down the stretch. It was just night and day. Mark Pope, speaking with the media yesterday, was talking about the analytics and talking about, again, kind of your point, to willing things to happen. And so it should be a breather tonight, a breeze going into next week, and then we start to pick up the pace a little bit. The most important thing you have seen from this team that you did not see coming was what, you think?
I've not seen a single time, not a single possession, have I seen somebody go looking for their own shot. On the contrary, you know, at times they've probably passed a little too much.
Probably,
but
yeah.
But I mean, in years past, a lot of different teams, all of a sudden 3-4 minutes go by and somebody's gets their hands on the ball, and you just know they are going to go hunting for one.
Yeah.
And that has not happened with this bunch. And I mean, they have proven that their strength has proven to be their balance.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like Jackson Robinson not scoring from the field against Duke. You know,
but he shut down his guy defensively,
and he did. And then you go into Carr, or Kobe Bray is out there just knocking him down like crazy, or the little gnat. What's
Kerr Kriisa
out there just bothering everybody. And it's just, I'm telling you, these guys, the moment is not too big for them.
No,
but their confidence is not too big to get it to a teammate. And I think they enjoy setting up a teammate as much as they do a teammate setting them up.
Yeah, the sum of the parts are out equaling the whole right now. It's the Bill Withers effect. Lean on me
when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Speaking of that, Chris Bailey 1-0 on the snow call this year. You can't win them all unless you win the first one.
That's right. Hot out of the gate, baby.
I mean, that's what you want to do.
You know, Chris, you don't have to get them all right. You just can't miss them all. Hey,
we got a lot of shooters. We need a lot of makers.
I'm a great fisherman. I'm just a bad catcherman.
Wow. Okay, football.
It's what's the current temperature right now as we record this? 30-something, 40-something?
30s.
It's going to be like 80-something in Austin,
What is it going to be in Austin tomorrow?
It's going to be
I
hot.
haven't looked, but I will get
It's a place in Texas. It's a capital. LBJ was big there.
A lot of cowboy hats.
You know,
a lot of steers.
His wife, Lady Bird, their family, I think, still owns a CBS station in Austin, Texas. She did at the time Vice President Johnson became president from the Department of Trivia Department. But anyway, Steve Sarkisian's wife just announced about 2 weeks ago that she's pregnant with triplets.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Good luck with that sleep, Sark. Nanny up.
That's when they say trips to the right, trips to the left. She's got that.
Nanny up.
upper 70s.
Upper 70s.
With some sun.
So
It's like a cold day in Austin.
So when you break a sweat on the football field, it's going to be 80-something degrees.
Bevo will not have a beat on him.
No, not at all. Cats have got to win. In the past, we have seen two things from Mark Stoops, and it's obviously there's only two things you can do. A couple of years ago, when UK played at Tennessee, obviously they want to play video game football, and UK tried to, we're going to try to milk the clock.
That's right.
Run, and that
Play keep away.
That blew up in a hurry. This past time against Tennessee, UK attacked right from the start. You know, however, you cannot get into a shootout with Texas.
No.
No pun intended. But
Well played.
But So what do? Is it an ebb and flow? You attack and then sag. You attack, then come back. What do you do?
You have got to be, you've got to pick your spots to take a shot. And when you do, you've absolutely got to hit it. Because then at that point in time, once you get a little field position, then you can go ahead and you can start trying to pound it out. And that's, like it or not, that's who Mark Stoops is at his core.
No
He's
doubt.
going to play defense. He's going to play field position.
Right.
He's not afraid to take a shot, but he's going to be very clinical as to when he does it. And if they don't hit it, or if something bad happens, he will pull it back in even more. So you just can't give him extra possessions.
No,
You've got to hold on to the football. And Quinn Ewers has dealt with some off the field stuff here lately, and like so many athletes in certain situations, the more he's dealt with the stuff off the field, the better he's been on the field. Yep. And so he's dialed in right now, and they control their own destiny in terms of possibly playing for a national championship.
And UK controls its own destiny. You went out to get to the bowl game, but obviously
keep the streak alive.
You got to keep the streak alive, and yes, Mark Stoops has also shown in the past his teams, for whatever the reason, play better on the road than they do at home.
Totally.
And while the Murray State win was expected, Mark Stoops also has had a pretty darn good record in terms of being competitive in the quote-unquote bounce-back games. Now, this is not a bounce-back situation, but it is. Your season is on the line if you want to get to a bowl. And when people say, hey, we have nothing to lose. Oh, yes, you do. And I heard that from a player earlier this week. We have nothing to lose. Yeah, you do. You're a senior. Your career is over. If you lose against Texas, your career is over at the Louisville game. And so you do have a lot, because I experienced this as a player.
Okay.
When you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, hey, there's always tomorrow. There's next year. There's next year. There's next year. Then you get to that senior year. Oh, we're doing okay. Once we righted our ship, we're okay. Oh, we only have 3 weeks left. And you see guys start to press a little bit. They're trying to, what they should have been doing as a sophomore and junior, they start to cram that into a 3-week span. It's almost like cramming for a semester final that you didn't go to class for the first 2.5 months. And I don't want them to panic because Texas is going to get a lead at some point early on in this game, you figure. You just can't panic with it. But there's not going to be too much blue in the stands tomorrow either.
The other thing that has helped this program in terms of its development is the extra practice that you get when you qualify for a bowl.
Yeah, didn't think about that.
And the extra reps for the young people. It becomes kind of dicey, on the other side, because so many people are now opting out of the bowl games to go ahead and start their NFL preparation.
Yeah.
But I think for the trajectory that Mark Stoops has had this program on and wants it to stay on, keeping that streak alive is utmost in his mind.
And also, you mentioned that about the extra practices and opting out. Ray Davis came to Kentucky from Vanderbilt, and he opted out of the bowl game last year.
Did.
And then he said, you know what? My teammates deserve better than this. I'm going to opt back in. And I think down the road, that will be one of the feathers in his cap. UK lost, but it was a down-to-the-wire game, and if he's not playing, maybe they don't even go down to the wire.
Right.
But I do really hope that players avoid I'm an investment more than I am a teammate, if that makes sense.
I get it.
And
it's a tough call.
It can be.
I mean, because if you're a parent, the right thing to do, unless you're playing for a national championship, is to not let them play in that bowl game.
If you're a guaranteed first-round pick or a high second-round pick, you're going to get. I get it.
Yes.
But also, one thing I have not seen, and I'm sure it's happened, I have not seen a player lose his career playing in a bowl game. Getting that devastating injury. Shouldn't have played, because then you're going to get second-guessed. And as we know, this world is nothing but second-guessers anymore. I think you be aggressive and you go right at it and play the way you have been playing.
There you go.
That's my thoughts.
It'd be nice to have to make that decision.
Yeah, it would.
How about that?
I'm going to make it today.
Okay.
High school football playoffs tonight, regional championships, a lot of rematches from either regular season games this year or postseason games a year before. A lot of the same singers are in the same songbook at this time of the year. And Boyle Covington Catholic. That is a game that is a rematch of last year's 4A title fight.
Right.
Franklin County Bardstown, a rematch of last year's regional championship. Madison Central Douglas, rematch earlier this year when Central nearly knocked the Broncos out of the corral. Came up a tad short. It's a weird time right now. A lot of things can happen. You've got Pikeville making their first trek to Lexington in a non-championship setting in a long time to play in a postseason game. So they played Lexington Christian like 14
And who they got this
17 years. Sayre, the Sparty
The
Party.
Fighting Penningtons?
The Sparty Party down on Canebrake. They're going to host, so that place is going to be packed. And just great crossing in their first regional championship
Right.
game ever, facing Barron County, another first-time regional contender. So Franklin County it's that fun time.
Let's go.
It's that fun time. We're going to get out of here and do what we do that voodoo that we do so well. So for Dave Baker.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be careful out there.
Gobble, gobble. See you next time.